Perfect. Well, thank you for taking a couple minutes out to speak with me. We're really looking forward to the Philly performance.
The show is fantastic. I say it every year. The production team did a really good job of coming up with something pretty unique this year. So everything is going great.
That's great. So, I mean, after all these years and coming back with Ghosts of Christmas Eve, especially with the Best of TSO and More edition, what does that feel like for you?
Well, I've been here from the very beginning,
right?
So I think every year we kind of take this all. We're all very fortunate to still be here and still be doing this. But to see Paul O'Neill's creation, his vision, still prospering after all of these years. I mean, our fan base keeps growing every year. These shows keep selling out. It's just amazing that we're able to come out every year and do what we do with this much success. But this year's tour is the Ghost of Christmas Eve, as you mentioned, based on the television show we recorded back in 1999. But this is like one of the favorite shows that we play as a band. I mean, everybody just really loves the story. They love the song selection, the way it flows. And the audience kind of feels the same way. We get a great reaction out of this every time.
Absolutely. I mean, can you talk a little bit, too? I'm sure you've witnessed the generational appeal of just going to a TSO performance, and now you have, parents that started going, and now they're bringing their children, and it's become like almost a family tradition, especially during the holiday season.
Yes, absolutely. From the very first show that we played in 1999, we all kind of looked at the audience and we weren't quite prepared for what we saw. It was children, it was grandparents, it was families, it was metalheads, it was, people dressed in tuxedos. Look, I think they're actually looking for an orchestra, but what they got was something a little bit different. But the fan base has been that varied over the years. I mean, from the first show, as I mentioned, up till now. And we've always done an autograph line after every evening show. So you'd have these kids coming through the line, from 1999 and 2000 and, those early years that are now bringing their kids through the line. So it's pretty interesting. But here again, Paul O'Neill created something that he felt was going to be timeless and passed on from generation to generation. And that was just kind of something he hoped he could achieve with this. And I would say that he certainly did.
100%.
And in my opinion, a lot of this is due, not just the music and the spectacle of what we are, but Paul's lyrics, the stories that surround these albums and these songs. I think once people realized how much all of this connected with the masses, or somebody just personally, just helped spread the word, and, people realizing the show is really for everybody. And there's a lot more to this than just lights and sound.
Absolutely.
There's something pretty deep and pretty meaningful in this. And here again, this year we just started doing the autograph line again. We had to be careful because of COVID the past few years, but here we go again. It's like these younger fans now they're grown up, now they're bringing their kids, and the kids are just absolutely loving it. So it's all good.
That's great. And talking about the large scale production, I mean, we have your lights, your lasers, pyrotechnics. As a drummer, how do you manage to maintain focus? While surrounded by such like a sensory overload.
Boy, you're not kidding. I like to say I've had the best seat in the house as this whole thing has grown over the years. I've seen the rooms in front of me get bigger. I've seen the audiences get bigger. The production, left, right, above me, behind me, everything has just gotten bigger over the years. Along with that, and this year is certainly no exception. There is some very intense lighting and some very intense effects going on. It really does take some focus to kind of hold steady through some of these parts. There's actually some schemes in the lighting at certain moments during the show where I almost have to close my eyes. There's just so much going on at any given time that if you get caught up watching it, it can just, you lose your focus. It throws you off a little bit, but you watch it from out front and it is just amazing. You know, it's one of the things that keeps people coming back every year. But for myself, having been here from the beginning and playing these songs so many times, you know, and most of my bandmates too have been here for at least 12 years, if not longer. You know, the idea is to go out and really present the musical part of what we do, just to be as rock solid as we possibly can. And a lot of our rehearsal when we prepare for these tours is on the main stage, is with all the production, because you've got to be prepared for some of the things that are going on. Otherwise, it's going to kind of take you off guard. But everybody has that job of focusing, and you have to kind of ignore what's going on around you at times to really maintain. But hey, the show looks fantastic, and as far as my job is concerned, like I said, sometimes I just got to close my eyes and ride through it and come out in the end in the right spot.
So, you know, coming from a heavy metal background, I mean, how do you integrate that sort of sensibility into TSO's more like orchestral, more like theatrical aspects of sound?
Well, to be honest, this whole project was born out of the band Sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
Paul O'Neill was managing and producing the band at the time, and I joined this band in 1994. At this point, Paul had already started adding a bunch of symphonic elements to that band.
Okay.
And if you listen to albums like Streets, or Rock Opera, Gutter Ballet, Edge of Thorns, you can hear some of this element that Paul was already bringing into this rock metal band. So when TSO happened, he just kind of took that a step further. So my drumming style actually fit very, very well with Sabotage as it was. Then when it translated into the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, TSO, as I mentioned earlier, the lyrics and the stories, the presentation, this became more important than the flash. So I had to kind of adjust my playing style a little bit more to just lay back, let the song be the song, let the words, you know, stand right out there in the front, be nice and clear. Don't interfere with anything, just be rock solid in the background. And when it was appropriate time to throw in something, you know, a fill here and there,
right,
then to do so. It really wasn't a whole lot of change, mainly because TSO is a rock band at its core. The holiday melodies, the classical melodies, the vocals, the symphonic stuff is kind of just, you know, built in around all that. Paul wanted something that was very powerful, but at the same time, as I said, when this translated into what became the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, my job as a drummer became more, you know, you hold the beat, you hold the thing together, you kind of stay out of the way. And in the studio, this allowed Paul to just explore a little bit more with the vocals and stuff like that. When we get on stage live, things open up a little bit more because it's a live performance. Right. But a lot of it, you know, was just really respecting the song, respect the lyrics and what the meaning of the song is and the emotion of the song, and, you know, let it go from there.
So is there a particular song in the Ghosts of Christmas Eve set that resonates with you at, you know, as a drummer, and why?
Oh man, that's a good question. You know, I always, Christmas Eve Sarajevo 1224 is the hit song. It's the hit song every night we play it. And I've probably played that song 3,000 times, if not more. It's still, whenever I play that song, there is just an energy to it and an excitement to it that I can't match with anything else in the show, to be quite honest. That song just lights up the room. Everybody recognizes it. The response to it is fantastic every time we play it. But to be honest, I mean, there's so many of these songs that really connect in a lot of different ways. You know, some of the stuff that's a little more aggressive is fun to play, sure, but then there's some ballads that really lyrically, you know, have a deep meaning, have a deep connection with myself, and obviously millions of others. So not to be flip about it, but all of them are equally, as exciting and important, and all of them are very different at the same time. So, but Christmas Eve Serial 1224 is the one that just lights everybody up. And like I said, I am just excited every time we jump into that song.
So I know, there were times in the past that Paul had talked about Trans-Siberian, kind of outliving its members almost. And, as the band continues on, what do you kind of hope that the long-term legacy of this will be? Because it just really seems to continue to pick up steam.
Well, I think maintaining what we've been doing, over the past several years. We lost Paul in 2017, and it left, things really kind of, it shook things up quite a bit.
Right.
Let's just say that. So to maintain what we're doing, to carry on his legacy, I think this is the goal for all of us, just to go out there and perform this music and do it at the highest level we possibly can, make the show different and exciting every year, and keep, turning new people onto this. There's always new people in the audience. I think probably 40 to 60% of the audience is new every show, which is
that's amazing.
It really is, to think of all these years that we've been touring, and there's still that many people that are seeing us for the first time. So I think that itself is going to help continue to grow what we've developed over the years. Hey, this music is some of the most played and loved music, holiday music in America, in the world, I guess you could say.
Yeah, really.
We've got like 1 billion streams.
Yeah.
Combining several of our songs. It's just unbelievable how popular this is, and to think that TSO has become tradition during the holidays. And that was a word that started getting thrown around a few years ago, and it's like, oh, we got to be careful with that, but man, people every year, this is the music that they celebrate their holidays to. They come see our shows. They watch the special on the Hallmark Channel and PBS and whatever else.
Right.
It's become holiday tradition, and that's a pretty heavy statement, but it's true. And I don't see any reason why this won't continue to do so over the years.
Absolutely. So is there, any particular city or venue on this 2025 tour that's going to be special for you, or that you're looking forward to?
Cleveland has a special place in my heart. First of all, my wife is from there, so that's...
See, there you go.
That's that. Yep. But when we got started, it was a DJ, Bill Lewis, WNCX in Cleveland, who used to play Christmas Eve and Other Stories nonstop on Christmas Eve. And he's the guy that really kind of kept goading Paul into, hey, you need to play a show with this band. You've got an audience out there.
Right.
So Cleveland is really where the initial excitement came when we first started touring. Every time we play there, it sells out. So Rocket Mortgage Arena, it's one of the biggest arenas that we play on the tour. It's always sold out. It's just fantastic. It's kind of like our home away from home. And I think the fans treat us like that too, because a lot of them have been there from the very beginning and come back to see us every year. But, there's a number of them that are just, they're all special in their own way. When we get towards the end of the tour is when we play some of the really big arenas.
Yeah.
And there are moments in the show when I sit there and look around and think, my God, there's people in the top row, their head is scraping the roof.
They're like in the rafters.
Yeah, but every seat is full, and it just kind of blows my mind to think that, after all these years, this still has this much interest and support from these people. It's really mind-blowing. It really is. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking a few minutes to speak with me. I'm so happy that the autograph line's coming back. That's awesome. And we can't wait. I think December 21st is our Philly show, so we're really looking forward to it.
It's going to be awesome. Right before Christmas.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what perfect timing did we get?
Yep.
Great. Well,
Very
thank you.
good.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hung. I appreciate it.
You got it, Kristen. Take care.
You too. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.